born in Whangarei on the 3rd day of December 1932. My parents were sheep and cattle farmers. We chopped native bush so that we could grow grass to feed the farm animals. One of my early experiences with an axe was that they had gymkhana sports meetings. They introduced wood chopping. The winner gets all the jobs. So I sharpened my axes to suit my job in particular. A fit young guy racing around with a sharp axe, cut here and cut there.
For the first 12 years of my life, and everywhere we went, there was an axe. Dad would go to work in the old Bedford truck, there was an axe under the seat.
And I was basically swinging an axe for my work.
Bruce was one of the last of the Carry bushmen, okay? He was very fortunate that he cut down Carry trees that were 3, 4, 5 metres through.
I had used an axe extensively on the farm, felling bush and stuff like that. So I was quite competent with an axe. The first event that I entered into, I won the event, and that was my first introduction to competitive wood chopping. Needless to say that having won the event for £10, I thought that's my sport, to hang with tennis.
They had boys' chops. I can remember eldest brother won $1 at the Rotorua show, which was a lot of money.
I'm only a very light person in comparison to some of the guys who had tons of beef on and very, very strong and powerful. So they could enter into a jigger chop or tree felling. I had a distinct advantage, provided I was fit enough. The first handicap event that I went in was at Onerahi for tree felling. Borrowed a couple of jiggerboards or tree felling boards and entered the race and eventually won it. Wasn't pretty, but was effective.
I think it's a wonderful event, and I think probably from a spectator's point of view it's quite spectacular to watch. When it takes maybe a minute and a half, depending on the block size, to 2.5 minutes, there's a lot can happen in that time frame, whether it be things going wrong, things going right. The lead can chop and change within half a dozen competitors. In that actual discipline itself, there's quite a lot going on.
My grandfather used to chop as well competitively. He had a mark of 63, handicap mark, and won the event. An 18-inch diameter, or it could have been a 2-foot diameter. Then in his day, my grandfather's time, that was the big event of the day. I didn't know this until much later, that he was that good. And I thought to myself, wouldn't be too good a trick to, if in jigger chopping, I could get to at least my grandfather's reputation of 63 seconds. Bruce goes out and starts winning events, and not that long I ended up with giving away over a minute in handicap.
So wood chopping it was, and I was fascinated with the tree. There's a whole lot of things going on. Anybody can put a board hole in on the ground because the ground doesn't move. You can get all set for it. But the moment you get a metre off the ground, things change, and you're living on a space that's about 6 inches wide. You've got nowhere to go. So if you don't get it right, the mistake compounds. When you get to the top of the block and you cut half of your block and you're not where you're supposed to be, and you go down and you come back up the back of the pole, if you're in the wrong place, you can't step off the board, you can't walk around your dummy and chop on solid ground. That's it, over is out. So you come second. or worse.
In all aspects of native timber in particular, or for that matter all wood, if you're going to use it, and wood chopping is no different to a builder, it's a great advantage if you can read the wood and visualise what obstacles are going to be involved.
An axeman, obviously ability, but they need to believe. They need to believe that they can do it.
I had a wish that when I stepped away from the block, having severed the block, not quite so much the underhand, but the standing definitely, and the tree, I could stand back and say to myself, I couldn't have done it better.